Hi friends, how are you? This is the Chaldonut speaking, and guess what? We're broke. We're very, 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 very broke. However, there are some positives. Aside from, you know, having no materials, there are some bright spots. The glass is indeed half full. It's probably going to be a lot more than half full eventually, but, there's this giant thing, which is really what soaked up, or sucked up most of the materials. Interestingly enough, building the actual machine parts and things for this nuclear reactor that we've been working on has been less, difficult than building the giant shell that I've been working on and pouring hours of my time into over the past couple of days. Anyway, guys, so let me explain the system we have before we actually set it up. So, this is coming from the Tekkit Classic wiki, what I'm using. I've slightly adapted it for my purposes, but it's pretty much exactly what's on there. There's this page on nuclear reactors, but then there's a simple tutorial for one that's pretty user-friendly. So that's what I'm using. Anyway, this is the nuclear reactor, or at least it's a stand-in for it. We're going to have a thermal monitor on that block, which we have here. And basically what that's going to do is check the temperature of the reactor, and if it gets too high, it's going to shut the thing down, because two red alloy wires are going to be right here, and when a redstone signal is emitted and the reactor receives it, it shuts down. So that way we should not have any explosions, but just in case, I've built this 3 thick reinforced material wide wall, and here there's only 2 thick because of the doors. And there are some security weaknesses, for instance this glass fiber cable system. Anyway, I should talk about that here quickly. So, we're going to have a 4 times insulated high voltage cable here, which is very inefficient and loses a lot of power, but we need it because it's extreme voltage coming out of this thing, like 2,000 some EU per tick. Anyway, that goes into the transformer, and I believe I have it. Yep, it's configured correctly, the side is right. And that's going to convert it just into 512 EU per tick, which is going to go down through this glass fiber cable, which is more or less the best cable in the game. And we've used it occasionally, but not much at all, really. Anyway, that goes to an MFSU, so this can store 10 million EU, which you may not think we're going to fill up, but we probably will if this reactor goes on for long enough, and lasts for long enough, and we leave it on. Anyway, so this all gets piped over here. Not piped, sent through here. We have an MV transformer, which sends it to medium voltage, and then that goes to an LV transformer, which goes to this energy link, which is going to power this quarry here. It's a pretty big quarry. It's not quite as big as the other one we set up, but it's pretty darn big, and it's going to take a while to reach the bottom, although we won't have to be sticking charcoal in it, although you haven't seen much of that, guys. That's mostly been me over the past couple days, just running back, manufacturing charcoal out of all the cobblestone, going over to the quarry and sticking some in. It is still running right now. It's one of the few reasons why I actually have some materials, most of which are not actually in my inventory, but I have like a stack of iron and a stack of copper or something up on the auto smelter floor. Anyway, over here, something I have not actually done yet, but will need to do, is place down a few chests and set up a simple BuildCraft system to send the items to chests. I'm not going to like hook it up to a sorting system or anything right now. I don't honestly have the patience for that after all the work I've been doing on the reactor. It's taken way too long. Anyway, hang on. Let's get up here. Let's get some wood. Hang on, I actually have the condenser in my inventory. What am I doing? Let's place this down. Because we do need a condenser, so we're robbing our only condenser from our base. We'll have to make another one at some point, unfortunately. But that's just how it goes. Anyway, we're going to stick a coal in there. This should make a ton of wood. It does, and then we're going to make a crafting table and then make a chest and just manufacture a whole bunch of double chests. I think we need 8 chests, to be perfectly honest with you right now. The quarry will fill that up and more, most likely, but that should cover us for the beginning here. We can always add more as time goes on, when we inevitably end up needing some. So this is 64, so this will make 2 chests. Yep. for 6, and then I don't want an extra chest. Actually, who cares? I'll just make an extra chest. It's fine. I'll make a couple extra. Anyway, so we need a few more BuildCraft pipes, I suspect. So let's quickly make those. I thought I was all ready to go, and then I realized I hadn't put in the chests, guys. My bad. But this is going to be exciting. Most of this is already done for you guys. You don't have to sit around and watch me try to build things and, you know, say, oh, well, we're going to need another episode. Although, oh my gosh, 5 minutes in, I might actually need another episode, and I've actually got all the materials this time around. That is not typical of me. I only need that much ice. I can stick all that in there. More on that later. Anyway, let's head down here and get the BuildCraft system set up, because I don't want to even start working towards turning this thing on until the power has somewhere to go and the quarry has somewhere to put items. So, we need chests here, 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 and here. And frankly, we may as well just make this other chest now. Dig this way and set this up. And I'm obviously leaving myself a lot of room here, and that is intentional. At one point I was thinking I might even just use this section here for another row of chests. I might someday need to do that. We'll see. But right now it's just useful to me because I can move around a lot more easily, which is always important because machine rooms tend to get pretty darn cramped. So that is an advantage. Actually, this is not how I want to do this. I want to do it like this. I want to go a layer back, and then that way I can only input at one spot to each chest, because otherwise it has 2 inputs, and that's kind of weirdly inefficient to me. It's not really, it wouldn't have been that big a deal, but it just seems awkward, in my opinion. Anyway, that is the system in its entirety. I apparently have 1 transport pipe, what do you know? I don't actually need that. I'm going to grab this coal, since it's actually worth some EMC, and I'm going to stick it in here. Anyway, we need to keep moving. We have about, like, a third of the episode left, and that's if I'm pushing it to 20 minutes. So let's move. Come on. Also, you'll notice this is backed up with some reinforced glass and a reinforced door. That's me doing the best I can to protect the MFSU in the event of a meltdown. It probably won't survive, but I thought I should at least make an effort to save it in that theoretical scenario. Alright, now let's head up here and let's start working. So, we need to put in the nuclear reactor, so let's get moving on this. Get rid of those. Okay, so nuclear reactor goes here, and then we have reactor chambers on every side. Yep. Oh my gosh, this is so scary. Alright, we gotta be careful, guys. We have to be very careful. Like, we gotta play this really, really safe. And I am not kidding. Like, if we screw something up, we destroy everything. I should have backed up the world before I even started recording. But I'm going to back up the world before we actually start this thing. Anyway, let's quickly set a lever up right here and flick it. Now the reactor cannot turn on. That is very important. Alright, 500 degrees is fine for us. So, we have the thermal monitor backup set up, and this lever included the HV cable is connected to the reactor, and we are good to go with this part. And if we right-click, you can see all the slots. But we don't want to put anything in, even though it won't turn on just yet. The next thing we need to do is hook up the energy condenser and collector setup to this thing. And that's going to take us a little bit of time, because there are a lot of pieces involved here. And there's some reinforced stone that I'm going to need to dig through. And, I don't want to stick this inside the shell. To me, that just feels like a very big and unnecessary risk, so we're going to dig through this and pipe stuff in. Again, it might not save the collectors and condenser in the event of an explosion, but this is a lot of diamonds here, and I'd rather not lose it all. Especially because if I stop using the reactor at some point, I can actually just, dismantle the collectors and condense one of them to get a lot of diamonds, which is very, very, very useful. Now there's just one more layer we've got to get through, and then we're good to go. Please. Oh my gosh, it does take forever to mine reinforced stone. I wish I had a diamond pick, because I think it's even slower than obsidian to mine. It might not be. I guess this is about how fast obsidian is with an iron pick. Alright, so we're going to break that block so we can see when we break through. Now, if I had to approximate, that was in, like, the dead center, I think. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It should be right here because it's 15 blocks wide. If we do this, we should see a gap. Soon-ish, please. Yes! Here we go. Excellent. Okay. This is what I wanted to see. We have gotten the gap. And do I have the glass, the reinforced glass, to secure this thing? I think I do. But anyway, let's dig out a little area. And we're going to light this thing up. Okay, so we've got a little area in the back here outside the reactor room, which creates a bit of safety. So we're going to stick 2 energy collectors in. And we need torches on top, I believe, to get them working at max capacity. Anyway, now we need a collector. We need to stick a piece of ice in the top. And it's going to start rapidly producing ice. Now we want a filter. And I think I need a screwdriver, actually. Something I forgot. There are so many things to make for this. Okay, that's just a stick and iron. Very, very simple. Not going to be an issue. Okay, thank goodness I actually do still have some iron in my inventory. Not much, but enough. This should... Does that work? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so what we want to do is put a stack of ice in that filter. But we're going to wait for a little bit until we get this thing hooked up. So, this, I believe, is completely ready to go. And we can stick the stack of ice in, actually, because this does not have a redstone signal connected to it yet. That is what this timer is for. And that, not what I meant to do. That is going to go here. Wait, is it? It's not turning on. We want this to be 8 seconds. Is it gonna go? I don't think that's really right. I think we should put it this way. Yeah, that's better. Much, much better. But we want this to be 8 seconds, and then that's gonna power a piece of redstone dust, which we're not going to stick in yet because it's going to completely overflow the reactor. With ice, and we don't want that. There's a very specific pattern we need to get this thing running. But eventually we are going to want that to be pumping a lot of ice to make sure that the reactor does not run out, because that is our coolant system for this reactor. Though we will use this 500-degree shutdown to preferably save us in the event of a meltdown type situation. Now, this should be able to come out. Do I have enough, is the question. I think I do. Yeah, I do. I'll just need to place that down. I don't want to do that yet. Actually, that's how I'll do it. I'll set up the timer. But it shouldn't activate the piping because there's no destination for the ice to go to. So the filter won't pull anything. And therefore, we'll be good to go. So I can just test this. And it should work. Yep. But it's not going to pull anything because... why is this not flickering for me? I don't know. Yeah, but it shouldn't pull anything since, there's no destination. That should be all that happens. Anyway, now let's grab some reinforced glass. We have just enough to do this. And we're going to set up a wall to add additional protection in the event of an explosion. Again, it's not, completely safe, but it'll do a decent job for us, and that's about all we can ask for. So we want this in here, and then we're going to, well, that feels a bit irrelevant, to provide it with a way to go, the explosion. The reinforced glass probably is not going to be that useful, but I suppose it makes me feel a little better to have tried something. Now let me think for a second. What else do we need? We have the ice production set up, I think. Yeah, that's all good to go. And there's probably a ridiculous amount in the energy collectors. So now, we need to start setting this nuclear reactor up. So we're going to dump 7 stacks of ice in here. And this is apparently very specific with nuclear reactors. Like, the ordering of materials in here determines whether a reactor is going to blow stuff up or you're going to be able to survive. Or it's going to survive. So, we have to be pretty careful. I don't really understand the mechanics that well, but I do know that I do not like seeing everything I've spent hours creating blow up. Therefore, we're going to be cautious. Anyway, this is pretty much ready to go. The only thing, as I said, we are missing is filling this up, pretty much. So, let's go grab some uranium cells. We're going to put those in. The reactor is still off, so it can't actually do anything with them until we allow it to. But, before we actually turn the thing on, a couple things are going to happen. I'm going to stop the video. And that's after I've put all these things in. I'm going to stop the video. I am going to back up the world, and then I'm going to run through every single step of the process to make sure I have not missed something important, because I can seriously see myself doing that. And I would prefer not to have something blow up. Now, if this thing works, which it should, we could theoretically eventually hook up a bunch of machines to the thing too. Not just the quarry, but right now, that's the only thing I really need it to be hooked up to. Although, unfortunately, guys, you will notice the MFE is going down in power. I need to go grab more lava from the geothermal generator. Not the geothermal generator. I need to go grab more lava and stick it in the geothermal generator. Anyway, guys, this is the last batch of uranium cells we need to bring in. 47 of them to be exact, if you're curious. And here we go. We're going to bring it down to the reactor level, and now we're going to dump them in. Again, you can see these are not doing anything because we've turned the reactor off and left it that way. So, there we go. We're good. I think everything is set. I'm pretty darn sure we haven't made any mistakes, and at the very least, our base can't blow up. Though this MFE might not be safe, and same with those collectors. I'm a little worried about them. But, overall, I'm pretty sure we're good to go. I think everything is going to work smoothly. Though, I'm concerned. Famous last words. Anyway, let's head up. One last check to make sure this has been producing ice. Again, not the greatest safety protections. Anyway, yep, this is making ridiculous amounts of ice, so we're good to go. Yeah, these safety protections are more or less useless. Anyway, that aside, that is all done, and it's good to go. The timer is functional. Yeah, I'm seeing it now. It's working. Okay, so what this means is we should not have to come back into that room, but I guess I'll leave it open for now so we can until we know the thing is working. So, I'm going to run through the system again, read over the wiki, make sure I'm doing this right. I'm going to back up the world, and then we're going to turn this thing on. So I will be back with you in a second. Okay, guys. So, I've checked the wiki. I think I've done everything right. I have also backed up the world in case I have not. The reactor, again, is completely filled. All we need to do now is hook this system up. It should not pipe ice to it because the system is still completely full of ice. Anyway, I am going to make sure all the doors are shut. I want to make sure the MFSU door is shut and all that sort of stuff. Okay, that is shut. That's what I wanted to see. Let's fly up and close off this. Here, I don't think we need to come back into this place ever again. We're going to close that. Actually, I will mark it, though. I feel like that's a good idea. Let's see. Do I have, like, an alchemy bag? I just asked if I had an alchemy bag. That's a pretty rough moment for me. No, I don't want to waste all that wood. I'll just create, like, a wall here, and this should differentiate for me. This should be different enough that I'll recognize it later and know what it is. Anyway, the last thing we need to do... Okay, so basically we need to... I'm going to put on my full nano armor for this, just in case. Where is my nano chestplate? It's right here. I should never have put that in here. I don't know why I did. Anyway, we have our full suit of nano armor on in case this blows up immediately. And anyway, let's get this thing going. So, all we should have to do, guys, is flick this lever. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, the thing is working. It takes a lot of ice, and it does so very quickly. Very quickly. Anyway, let's go check downstairs. This thing makes a lot of noise, but it is working. I think we're good. Yeah, and the ice bounces back and forth, and then it sends it here and refills the pipes. This should replenish it fine. Yeah, it's making a lot now. Now we're good. Now it's producing enough ice, I think, to be sustainable. Anyway, right, I'm not wearing my jetpack. Anyway, let's head down here. We should be getting EU in here. You're kidding me. Wait, what is it? Over 1 million EU already? What are we doing? This is so bad, guys. We're literally going to explode our system. We have a serious problem, guys. This whole thing is gonna blow if we run out of power. Actually, that's not true. I don't think that's true. I think if this thing exceeds maximum power, all that's gonna happen is, oh my gosh, that's a lot of power. That's like more than our MFE could hold if it was filled up 5 times. I think all that's gonna happen is it just won't send power here, and like it'll just waste the uranium. I don't think it's gonna blow up. But if it did, that would be very bad. Anyway, we're going to check this out when it's full. And, man, I'm getting a lot of FPS lag. Maybe it's because we have 2 quarries running now and the nuclear reactor system, which is fairly complex in its own right. I suppose that's true. We have a lot of high-tech systems going now. Yeah, but this should be just fine. Yep, we're not losing any of our ice. It's not being depleted. We're good. That is just fine. And if we come down here, how much EU do we have now? Almost 5 million. Pretty good, I'd say. I'm pretty pleased. Don't know about you guys, but I think that's a worthy investment. Now let's go check out the quarry. This thing should be running for quite a long time. Oh yeah, there are going to be some mob spawns here, but they can't really see me. Is the thing done? I would hope that it's done. And like outputting stuff now. After all, this thing is getting a lot of power. Is it going? I don't know, is it? I can't tell. I'm gonna come back. Oh yeah, it is. Nice. Oh, and it is going really quickly, guys. Check that out. Oh my goodness. Alright, is this gonna go in? I'm gonna go check on the MFSU, see if we need to turn off the system yet. My plan is, like, to build up 10 million, or almost 10 million, go shut off the thing, and then just turn it back on when we need more power. Because I think that's perfectly fine. So we're going to be careful, because that's, what is that? That's like 10,000 per second. Not per second, not quite that good. But, oh my gosh, look at this thing! It's moving so quickly! That is too good! It's going to distribute this kind of strangely, I will admit, but, that aside, it means we're going to have a lot of space. Okay, back to the reactor and the MFSU. Are we good? I'm going to wait till it gets to 9 million, and then I'm going to shut the thing off. But this is so much power, guys. We can do whatever we want, basically. And the thing is, I'm pretty sure this stuff lasts for like 2 hours. So, we could have pretty much unlimited power forever. Like, just with... Because we really, if we let this go for 2 hours, we would not need to ever have more power. Anyway, I'm going to shut the thing off. Because I don't think we really need more power right now. I don't want to waste our uranium cells. So, we're going to leave it. We have a reactor. We have a lot of power. Ooh, which is going down pretty quickly, actually. But we have 9 million, so we'll come back and check when we need to get more. But look at this thing. It is so much faster than that other quarry, which was really lame. Oh my gosh, I need to, like, put lights in that ceiling. It's gonna bother me. But anyway, we have an awesome quarry. We have an awesome power setup. And that, I think, was worth all the effort. And eventually, if we want to, we can hook up a mass fabricator to this system. This thing should no longer be producing ice, which is good, because now we have full inventories. Anyway, we can hook up a mass fabricator eventually, which will produce union matter, which will allow us to make iridium for quantum armor, which is, you know, if you don't know, nano armor, but even more OP. And then we can also, of course, manufacture a lot of things like diamonds and pretty much anything in the game. So it's like free EMC, basically, because it's pretty darn easy to generate enough power to power that thing, considering just how long the uranium lifespan is. I think it's a stack in 16 minutes, the wiki said, for UU matter, and we're not going to need that much, so I don't think the reactor should ever expire on us. Anyway, guys, it's been a very long process, but things have gone very, very well. I'm considering piping power to this MFE, too. Just so that we always have power in this place. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we won't. That's something for the future. But anyway, this episode has gone on long enough. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's taken me a lot of time to prepare it. This has been the Chaldonut speaking. Goodbye, friends, and I will see you all next time with some more Tekkit Classic. And oh my goodness, that quarry was so fast. I'm so happy.